Good afternoon, everyone. So today I will present the research result that I have conducted with my advisor, Ms. Krisana and Mr. Adi, with the title is Financial Performance of Selected Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, a case study of Indonesian agro-industry businesses. So, okay. For the agenda, first is introduction, objectives, material and methods, result and discussion, and conclusion. So for the first thing, the introduction, the number of Indonesian MSMEs had increased year by year. Especially during the pandemic, many people try to open their own businesses because they lost of job or they want to add in more income. So that's why they need make a special characteristic to make them differ from other MSMEs or micro, small, medium enterprises. However, in Yogyakarta province, where the research conducted, many people prefer to choose a product with the cheap price in compared with the product with the best quality. So it make the MSMEs compete in very low price. And another thing is the Musliha et al. In 2020 said that more than 50% of MSMEs didn't create financial statement because they think they don't have someone to create it, the government didn't comment it, and the last one is they didn't know the benefit when they did it. So in here, we try to analyze the financial condition of all selected businesses to know whether they can survive in the future and how the condition of their business right now. So the objective in this research to determine the financial performance of Indonesian agro-industry MSMEs, and the second one is to provide recommendation for them to improve their business in the future. For the material and methods, first of all, we do the purposive sampling. We found 5 businesses that they offer product that can be found easily in Indonesia, especially in the special region of Yogyakarta. And there are 5 businesses. They are Rumah Ketela or RK, in here I mentioned it, which produce cassava-based product and a food service. Second is SM or Sarisa Merapi, which produce salak-based product. PLS, which produce cassava steam chips. SB or Super Brand, which produce fried shallow product. And the last one is STM or Soto Mantenan, which produce soto as one of a well-known Indonesian soup. They offer a food service there. And for the collection data, we just in-depth interview and we collect the business record like the financial, the inventory, and the production list. After that, we're providing them the bookkeeping system for those who didn't have a bookkeeping system appropriately. And so we suggest a financial mobile app in Indonesia called Buku Cash. And we also create a system for bookkeeping by Google spreadsheet. After that, we calculate the financial ratio, common size analysis, and we analyze the data and interpretation. And the last one, we drew the conclusion and recommendation. And based on the analyze the data and interpretation, for instance, we compare the result of financial ratio and the median industry ratio, which is in here we use the United States Food and Kinder product in the list company in 2020 to know the condition, the position of all selected businesses compared with the other businesses in the same sector. And we found that for the 5 businesses had less profit than other businesses in the same sector because the COVID-19 made the government change the regulation regularly and impact to the tourism place where the businesses located often closed and didn't have many customer come. And another thing is the customer purchasing power had decreased during the pandemic condition. The economic decrease. After that, however, they had more effective asset than other businesses in the same sector because the size of the company size is less small than other businesses. So the next one, we can see in here that the RK had the minus value of ROS, ROA, and ROE because the total expenditure of this business is more than 100% of their total sales. So the reason is because they calculate the cost of goods sold and product price based on the owner estimation and experience only. So maybe you can maybe you're surprised with how they still operate, because the reason is they got the funding from other equities. So even though they operate in minus minus profit, they still can running in this condition. It's different with the SB. We had the total expenditure. Total expenditure around 70% of total sales, because they only had the variable cost generally, and almost every month they got supported by Bank Indonesia. They get a large order, so they can still survive and get many profit from them. And for STM, the next one is the STM. It had a highest ROA and the second highest value of ROE, because it had the less asset, and they also withdrew the capital at times. So that's why they had the high value of the profitability ratio. However, for the defensive interval ratio, or you can say that the total days that they can cover all the daily expenses, they only can cover for 3 days, because based on my interview with them, they only keep cash on hand around 2 till 3 days. So that's why it's very, very less compared with the SM. SM indicated that they had a longer day to cover the daily expenses, because they had a minimal cash around 70,000 baht per month. It's very, very high in Indonesia, I think, especially for MSMEs. And another thing is they also had the large total asset, especially because they had a very advanced machine, which impacted to the depreciation cost. The depreciation cost can be around 70% of their total sales, and that's why they also had the very low ROA. But another thing is they had a high stock to anticipate many tourists come to their place. So that's why they had a very, very not effective management, asset management, compared with other businesses. Especially for STM, it's very effective when they manage the asset, because they had a food service, especially they want to keep a product that is offer is fresh, so they only keep the raw material and semi-finished product around 1 to 2 days only, and they also restocking their inventory 2 times per day. So based on my explanation before that, SM had the highest asset. It's because they often get funding and all kind of asset from third party, especially government very support them to improve their business. So that's why they had a highest capital than others, and the fixed asset higher than other. It's different with the PLS, which is had the very low capital and fixed asset, because they only use the semi-finished product as their raw material, so they can so they can minimize their capital and can support by use the party to supply the raw material, especially they support other MSMEs to join their business. So for the business condition, for the pandemic situation, we know that it give impact for any aspect, especially for demand and sales in agro-industrial businesses. The purchasing power that I said before, that it's very decreased, and many people try to cook by themselves, so they prefer to cook by themselves and reduce the amount, the money that they spend to pay to another businesses. And yeah, that's the reason the sales and demand had decreased. However, for the all selected businesses, they also get the acceptance offer become longer than before, and they prefer to keep more cash than inventory, because they think it doesn't necessary for them to keep many assets during this time, especially fixed asset or investment in many machine or equipment. And the last one is the total expenses had a very high during the pandemic because they still need to pay their fixed costs to every month. So next, for the business condition, for Rumah Ketela, usually they can restock 2 times per month before the pandemic, but because the pandemic situation, they only can restock 1 time per month. For the Sari Samarapi, because the production time had decreased, they need to have the machine idle time very high than before. And for PLS, they had a cost for unsold and rejected product around 40 to 1,000 baht. And for Superbra, because they didn't active on e-marketplace and didn't join to free delivery system on that particular e-marketplace, it can give impact to customer that want to buy their product but far away from their place, so they need to pay the delivery cost. So maybe it can be a pain point for customers also. And the last one is Soto maintenance, because the purchasing power had decreased, they need to reduce the number of products that they offer every day. So for the conclusion, all selected businesses had a less profit than other businesses in the same sector. However, for the asset management, it's more effective. So in here, we recommend them, especially all selected businesses, to have following activities to improve their profit, and maybe they improve their business also in the future. Like for Rumah Ketela, can they calculating their cost of goods sold and product price. For Sari Samarapi, can sharing value by renting their machine, advanced machine, to other businesses. PLS can forecasting to reduce their unsold and rejected costs. Superbram can more active on e-marketplace and join their free delivery system, so they can expand the target market. And Soto Maintenance can also expand their target market based on by introducing new product to give more option to customer. So for the future research, we recommend them to increase the sample size, including other financial analysis tools, so they can compare the performance of business financial before and during the pandemic, and find the suitable financial tools that can be applied by MSMEs, so they can improve their business in the future. So that's all from me for the acknowledgement. We're thankful for Department of Agro-Industrial Technology, Kasetsat University, and all selected business that provide us information for this research. This is my research. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. As I hear from you, I think the situation is the same in Thailand, okay?
Yes, so I think so.
Yes, we cook by ourselves. We just, did our things by ourselves. We just keep money, right? But we spend a lot on, digital marketing, buying things, from Shopee, as we have.
Yes, I heard about it.
Okay. So, is the main influence from the study is the rule of the government, right? They changed a lot of rules.
Yes.
During the pandemic, right?
Yes.
Can you give me the examples of rules that they changed?
Okay. For example, the operational time. Usually, maybe they can open every day, but during the pandemic, like maybe about the Borobudur Temple, right? It's the famous tourism place in Indonesia. So it usually can open every day, but during the pandemic, the case number of COVID fluctuate. So it can be from 30 days, they only open 10 days or 15 days, something like that. So it gives impact to other businesses around the tourism place, so they don't get many customer because there are no tourists there.
And how about now? The situation has changed a lot, right?
Yes, I think the same with the Thailand. So right now I'm in Thailand also. So when I contact with my friend and my family that Okay, in Indonesia and Thailand, it's same, I think, because they can active can have activity outside at home right now, because right now they will go to the new normal as Thailand also, I think.
Yes, I really like Indonesia. I would like to go back. I went I think last 3 years before the pandemic. I went to Bromo,
Okay.
Bromo, and I is that the name Bromo and Ijen,
Yes.
Kawah Ijen, right?
Yes. Bromo
Yes.
Mount and Kawah Ijen Mount. Yes.
Yeah, I really like it.
Wow, yeah, it's very good.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Do you
you,
have
Ka.
anything to add up? Any more things to add?
No.
No?
I think.
Okay. Okay.
ขอบ
Here
คุ
we
ณ
go.
ค่ะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ